Welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Today is Wednesday, September 25th, 2019. Let's take a look at our solar wind speeds right now, sitting at 420.5 kilometers per second with a density of 3.5. Right now our sun is blank once again. That's now 22 days in a row without sunspots, 193 days for 2019. Our TSI is coming in at 4.11. That's down from 4.18. So the thermosphere is cooling once again. Our KP indices are at a 2, and our 24-hour max is at a 4. And let's take a look at the SDO real quick. This is the coronal hole that we're expecting G2 geomagnetic storms from September 27th through the 28th. So the size of this coronal hole could bring solar wind speeds upwards around 750 kilometers per second. Also wanted to point out that bright spot that we pointed out yesterday during our morning update has now quickly decayed. So just like that, there's no concern of any kind of sunspot being formed to break this 22-day stretch without sunspots. Let's get right over and check out the weather. There's tons to talk about. Right now, we've got a massive line of severe thunderstorms rolling through the northern plains. Iowa right now, things are starting to die down, which is odd. Usually when the sun comes up, more energy fuels these storms, but these storms have quickly faded. There's still strong thunderstorms, but not on the severe level like we had overnight in the early morning hours. And speaking of early morning hours, we had an EF2 tornado in Chippewa County, Wisconsin. At least one confirmed tornado touchdown in western Wisconsin on Tuesday night. Let's do this. It says here the storm started to roll through Wisconsin around 7 p.m. and a tornado warning was first issued for St. Croix County. The line of storms then moved into Durham County and went just north of Elk Mountain into Chippewa County by 9 p.m. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Augusta, or 21 miles southeast of Eau Claire. Chippewa County Sheriff Jim Kozolek tells WEAU that no one he knows of was accounted for, with only a few people have suffering minor injuries. Emergency crews are working to keep the public safe. Power lines may be down. Debris can cause injuries that are better avoided in the day. Warning from the emergency management: please do not go to the town of Wheaton tonight to volunteer. Emergency crews are working to keep the public safe. Power lines may be down, although they are ecstatic for the help. Safety first. So this one right now is being sought as a EF2, and we will bring you more updates as the day goes on as far as injuries or damage that was done by this storm. All right, let's check out the tropics again. We are looking at the four storms that we were talking about yesterday. Jerry is now a cyclone. Karen is still a hurricane, I believe. No, this is just a tropical storm. 45-mile-per-hour winds. Central pressure is 1,003, moving north at 14 miles an hour. Lorenzo is a hurricane with winds of 70 miles per hour. And the pressure of 988 millibars. Actually, folks, that's at 80 mile an hour sustained wind with Lorenzo. This storm is moving west-northwest at 17 miles per hour. And just like we've showed you guys, the tracks still don't look like they're going to affect the mainland here of the United States. But we will keep our eyes also on this disturbance in the Gulf. Now is just a 10% chance of development after 5 days. The track of this storm, thankfully, is now below the mainland, but it looks like parts of Mexico will have to deal with this storm. So we'll keep our eyes on this, as it could rapidly intensify due to the conditions in the Gulf. And guess what? We got high winds. We got a winter storm warning, a winter storm watch, hazardous outlook. But the big story here is the potential blizzard. That's right, blizzard. For September 29th through the weekend. Let's take a look at this, guys. I'm hearing upwards around 36 inches of snow could be dumped from this storm. But let's get the actual details here. So we have a winter storm watch in effect. And this is what to expect. Blizzard conditions possible. Total snow accumulations of 18 to 36 inches with locally higher amounts in the mountains. Now, folks, I was calling for 8 to 10 inches. So I was way off. Record or near record cold temperatures in the teens and 20s with wind chills near 0 to 15 above. North to northeast winds 15 to 30 miles per hour with gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. This is going to be for the northern Rockies, Rocky Mountain front, and adjacent plains of north central Montana. Now this blizzard watch, this winter storm watch, actually it's a winter storm watch, not a blizzard watch, but still blizzard-like conditions are more than possible with this. This goes from Friday evening all the way through Sunday afternoon. The impacts of the storm, extreme impacts possible, including to the power infrastructure, power lines resulting in widespread power outages, agricultural interest, outdoor recreational interest, including camping, hunting activities, and travel. Widespread significant tree damage is possible with heavy wet snow and strong winds impacting with foliage. So we have leaves starting to fall, not quite ready yet to fall off trees, but when you have this kind of heavy wet snow, more than likely this is going to strip some of these trees down with the winds and the snow and the accumulating. And this is going to be a heavy wet snow too, so this snow is going to pack really well on trees and bushes and grass, and of course surface like roads and sidewalks. When you're talking about 18 to 36 inches, we will see the effects on the roads and sidewalks as well. Confidence of this report is high on accumulations, winds, and expected impacts. There is low to moderate confidence on the timing of onset and end of winter storm events. So it could be later, it could be sooner, and it could start earlier Friday, it could start later Friday, but they are not in any way discrediting that we are definitely going to be in a major winter storm warning probably by Friday. And this is the forecast that we're looking at here, guys. This is northeast of Brady, Montana. Rain throughout the rest of this week. Tomorrow, rain all the way through Friday afternoon. And then that's when the transition happens. Low is going to be 28 degrees on Friday night. Then the high on Saturday is going to get to 36. So temperatures are going to be just above freezing during the daytimes on Saturday and Sunday, making this a very wet snow. And if it does snow as much as they say, this could be some major problems like earlier mentioned with power lines and trees, and even roof damage is possible with this kind of snow. So it's kind of hard to believe that we're talking about a possible blizzard, but is this unusual? Well, here's the Weather Channel trying to pretty much tell you that this is normal, that this kind of weather has happened before, so don't panic, right? But the storm that they mentioned was in October of 2017. The storm brought 13 inches of snow, all right, between October 2nd and 3rd in 2017 in Harve. I'm assuming it's Harve, Montana, since it's spelled just like Favre with an H. Making it the heaviest October 2-day snowstorm there in more than 100 years of record. The entire town lost power because of the trees and power lines down by heavy wet snow and high winds, which is exactly what we're facing this weekend. But by the way, it's not October yet. So this storm in 2017 was the record on total as far as early snowfalls. This one here is 100 years old in 2017. So just 2 years later, it's possible that we're going to shatter the October record for snow in 2 days with 13 inches. That number is going to jump from 18 to 36. And again, it's a little far out before we can tell you exactly what's happening, but we've all looked at the GFS models and we do see the heavy snow, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But I just thought it was interesting that the Weather Channel felt it was necessary to bring up all of the early snows that happened in the beginning of October. As if they were trying to settle everyone down. It's okay. This happens. And they're showing storms that happen like Sandy, Superstorm Sandy, October 28th through the 31st in 2012. Another Snowtober knocks out power to 3 million people in 2011. This was in the Northeast. So they're just trying to show you various areas that receive snow in October, but no mention of what we get in September. And this definitely would be a historic snowstorm if it falls the way we are looking at the predictions right now. Now, I will show you this chart here real quick. I think it's important to see. Like I said, the Weather Channel to me is almost trying to, how should I say this? Try to dumb things down, if I may say. But this is a map of the average when our first measurable snow happens. Now, I find it ironic in the northwest corner that we have the pink for September. Ironically, that's the area that's going to see the beginning of this storm. The rest of the northern plains sees snow, first measurable snow in October. And the majority of the country doesn't even see their first measurable snow until November, December. And then, of course, the South shows January, February. Nobody gets snow down there, of course, first measurable. So it's average for the United States to see October snow in the northern plains. And right now, we're going to get a dose of that just a little bit earlier. And let's take a look at the GFS models. This is the 06Z for Wednesday. And you see the storm coming out of Canada, making its way from Alberta into the lower 48. This is Friday. And now here we are Saturday. So really the storm is off to a slow start when they say overnight Friday. That's when the transition from rain to snow will begin. And by Saturday morning, we will start to see heavy snow in that pink area of that map that I just showed you. So right where that pink is in September, that is when we will start to see the snowfall, is on Saturday, September 28th. Meanwhile, we'll be dealing with severe weather across the Midwest, but this snowstorm picks up and just kind of develops and gets more widespread as the day Saturday into overnight hours into Sunday morning. And this storm just kind of hovers around the state of Montana for a good solid 24 hours. By Monday, it starts to lift off into the north and finally away from Canada, but leaving some very cold air behind it as well, folks. So October 1st is going to feel like almost a late November, early December day after this storm is over with, and even a chance of redeveloping snow showers for Tuesday, October 1st in parts of Montana and Wyoming. And then look at this. By the 2nd of October, we are looking at snow in North Dakota and South Dakota, and this is going to accumulate according to this weather map. Through the 3rd of October, that system finally trails away through Minnesota, the Great Lakes, and right behind it we got a lot of high pressure, which is drier air, cooler temperatures. Fall will definitely be in full effect by the time we get to October 6th, October 7th. But the good news is that these two major storm systems, after they leave the United States, we're talking about some very, very, very dry weather. Occasional showers for the Northeast and the Northern Plains, but compared to what we've seen on our weather maps, this is going to be a very dry start so far. After we get through the first 4 days of October, as far as the snowfall goes, we will see snow from the 27th of September through October 3rd in the Northern Plains, Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming, and parts of Colorado. And like we said already, we're expecting a potential blizzard in Montana by September 28th, 29th, 2019. So that's going to do it for our morning report. I will be back live tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with a full Grand Solar Minimum News update. Until then, guys, take care and have a great day.
Do you like this show? Give us a thumbs up. Want to support us more? Share to your favorite social media platform. Buy a t-shirt or become a Patreon. All links are in the description.